Hi, my name is Lily, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my Christmas book haul. So these are going to be all of the books that I received over the Christmas period or bought for myself over the Christmas period. It doesn't include things like Illumicrate and Fairy Loot books because those are kind of sporadic, but it is the books that I was gifted for Christmas and the books I bought in the sales. So I'm going to start off with the books that were gifted to me by friends and family. So first up we have Sweet Bean Paste by Jurian Sukigawa. This is a Japanese literary contemporary fiction. So this was given to me by my friend Kate from Reading Through Infinity. All of my friends who have social media presences will be linked down below. This one is about a man who has a criminal record and dreamed of being a writer, but because of his criminal record that's all kind of can't happen anymore, and he's now working in a sweet shop. He then meets a old lady who has disfigured hands but makes the best sweet bean paste he has ever tasted, and they form an unlikely friendship. So it's meant to be kind of a sad look on loneliness and societal expectations and that kind of stuff. I'm really in love with Japanese literary fiction at the moment, and I'm planning on doing a reading vlog for it soon, so this one was an absolute perfect choice. The next one is from my friend Connor from Connor's Library, and that is If This Gets Out by Sophie Gonzalez and Kale Dietrich. This is a YA contemporary, kind of a romance, kind of a drama. This one is about two members of a massive worldwide sensation teen boy band, and the management of their boy band is pressuring one of them to stay in the closet, and he can only confide in this other guy from the boy band that's his best friend. But this friendship starts to evolve into a romantic relationship, and they're starting to risk things getting out. I have heard really good things about this one. I am very, very excited, and I'm not a big fan of YA contemporary anymore unless it's something that I think is a very unique premise, and this one sounds very different to me, and Sophie Gonzalez is one of those authors that I keep hearing amazing things about, so I'm very excited to give this one a go. Then I received two books from my friend Charlie. The first one is The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. I'm not sure if I'm saying that surname right, but I tried. This is an adult thriller. So this is about a woman who was seemingly living the perfect life until one day she shoots her husband in the head 5 times and never speaks again. And this book is about trying to uncover why she did that. I have heard amazing things about this book. It's been really big on TikTok, and I have a couple of friends who've been talking about it on BookTube, so I'm very interested, and I'm kind of feeling the darker books at the moment, and when I think I want a quick read to like zip through in a day, I think this is going to be my choice because adult thrillers kind of do that for me. So yeah, I'm very excited. I don't read a lot of thrillers, so I don't have a ton on my TBR, but that's quite good because then when I want to read one, I have one ready because I just generally have 1 or 2. So this is to replace my thriller stack, and I'm very excited. And then the other book that Charlie got me is a complete 180, and I love that, and that is Kiss Her Once for Me by Alison Cochrane, which is a kind of a holiday romance. This is about a young woman who was kind of living her dream life. She had her dream job in animation. She just had the most amazing meet cute with a beautiful woman, and then the next day she's betrayed, she loses her job and has to kind of restart herself. She's then working in a coffee shop, and one day when her manager of the coffee shop is drunk, he says to her, well, he proposes a crazy scheme where they have a fake marriage so that he can get his inheritance, and they decide to go along with it. And to keep up the ruse, they go home to his family for Christmas to make them believe that they're together. But when she gets to this family Christmas, she finds out that his sister is that girl she had the really cute meet cute with, and sparks are flying. And so then she has to choose between whether she sticks with this fake marriage, the benefits she gets from that, or whether she tries to risk things for the love of this girl that she met. It sounds cute. I've heard mixed things, and I'm not usually a big holiday romance reader, but I am really in the mood for it. I don't know why, but in January I tend to get in the mood for holiday romances. I don't tend to want to read them in December because I think it gets a bit overwhelming how much holiday content you get. But in December, in January, I start to miss the holidays, and that's when I start reading my holiday romances. So I predict I'm going to be picking this one up soon, and I love that it's kind of a love triangle that's a little bit different. I'm not sure how weird it's going to be that they're siblings, but you never know. I don't know if she's attracted to the brother, whether she is bisexual, pansexual, or whether she's just a lesbian, and therefore isn't attracted to him at all, but it's going to be interesting seeing how those dynamics play out in this book. Next is a gift from Beth from Books Nest, and that is The Book of the Most Precious Substance. This one is actually kind of a funny story because Beth had just finished reading this and was talking about it on her Instagram stories, and it sounded so good that she sold it so well that I instantly went and put it on my wish list, and she's fairly certain she then bought it immediately after that because I'd messaged her and said, oh my god, sounds amazing, you sold, added to my wish list, and she just bought it from my wish list. So it's a real little cute moment that we had there. So yes, this one sounds really different and really cool. So this is about a woman named Lily who is a rare book dealer, and she gets a tip off that the Book of the Most Precious Substance is somewhere in the wild and she could be able to acquire it. And this is meant to be the most powerful occult book ever. If she finds it, she will become both incredibly wealthy, but also will be able to erase the major tragedy of her life. So she goes on this journey around the world to try and hunt down the Book of the Most Precious Substance. Does that not sound amazing? I actually think I'm going to read this soon because I'm in the mood for this kind of fantasy read at the moment, and it sounds kind of dark and spooky, but also an adventure story. So yeah, I'm really excited. Then my parents actually bought me 2 books from the Illumicrate shop. The first one is Shipwrecked by Olivia Dade. I actually haven't read the other 2 books from Illumicrate or Afterlight from her, but I put it on my list kind of just in case. I wasn't expecting to get it, but it was like, oh, if someone gets it for me, that'd be nice to have a matching set of the 3 books. And they just happened to get it. They were... I don't even know why they chose this one. I asked my mum, she has no idea, she just kind of went on vibes. I don't think she even read the summary, but this is one of the ones she picked for me from the Illumicrate, is it archives? I'm not sure, but from the Illumicrate shop. And I was very, very excited about it. So this one is a contemporary adult romance. It is about 2 co-stars in a TV series who, I think it's 6 years ago, had a one-night stand and then never spoke to each other again. And then they find out they are co-stars in this big production on a deserted island. And they kind of have to try and maintain their professionalism, but they are drawn to each other. It sounds really interesting, but it's also meant to be a little bit enemies to lovers because the man is quite angry about the fact that they only had a one-night stand previously. So yeah, I don't really know what to expect because I haven't read any Olivia Dade yet, but I'm very excited to have a matching set. I have high hopes because the people who I have similar taste in romances to liked her other books, so fingers crossed this one will be a good one for me. And then the other one they got me is Ashford Parker Doesn't Fail by Ashley Herring Blake. This might be confusing to some people because this is the sequel to Delilah Green Doesn't Care, and I really didn't like Delilah Green. But the reason I didn't like Delilah Green was because of the character of Delilah. I thought it was well written, but I just hated Delilah. So I really did want to give the second book a go. And so I added the Illumicrate version onto my wish list just in case it happened. I wasn't kind of expecting it to, but my parents decided to do it, and that was really nice of them. So I am very excited to read this one because I have some hope that I will like this one more because I did enjoy the writing style. I just didn't like Delilah. I liked most of the other characters in the book, just not the main character. So this one is about Delilah's stepsister? I think she's a stepsister. Anyway, it's Delilah's stepsister, Astrid. So Astrid is just coming out of a failed engagement and is trying to get her career off the ground to please her disapproving mother. And so she ends up being part of this home makeover show, and she is making over the local inn. But then we have Jordan, who is one of the family members that owns the inn, who is desperate to retain the inn's history in this renovation. And they start to have tensions, and the producers ask them to sort of amp up the tension between them for the show. And it starts to be turning into sexual tension, apparently. So yeah, I'm very hopeful. If this one I don't like, then I guess Ashley Herring Blake just isn't for me. But I really think I will like this one more because I did enjoy her other characters in Delilah Green. I just didn't like Delilah. So yeah, I'm very excited, and I'm just generally so surprised my parents bought me these. I didn't know I was getting Illumicrate books because a box with Illumicrate arrived on it, and I was the one that accepted the delivery, but I didn't know which ones they'd picked, and I'm very excited. Now I'm going to move on to the ones that I bought for myself over the Christmas season. The first one is a very special one. The story behind the first one is that I was actually in Waterstones Piccadilly, and we were just there killing time, waiting for a dinner reservation. And I just so happened to be there at the same time as a couple of authors who had popped in to sign some of their stock. And one of those authors was actually the author of a book that I've been really wanting to read and was potentially going to buy anyway, so what luck. And that is Tasha Suri, who wrote The Jasmine Throne. I was so excited. So this is actually, if I can find the page, signed and personalized by her for me, because we had a little conversation about it, and she was honestly the absolute loveliest. It was so sweet, and I felt so lucky that I just happened to be there in that moment. So this one is a YA fantasy. So the blurb for this one is pretty vague, but I've been told by so many of my friends that I will love this book, so very excited. So this one is about a princess who is trapped in a temple and is dreaming of revenge, and a maidservant who has been forced to give up her powers, who dreams of freedom, and how they are going to set this magical empire ablaze together. Is that not a great selling line? When I spoke to the author, there's actually a lady who spoke to her before me, who asked her, what's this book about? And when she was speaking about it, it was just so good. Like, you could tell she had her pitch down, and it was really good. I didn't need selling on it because I already knew I wanted the book, but I thought it was just a lovely moment, and it sold so well, and I'm really looking forward to giving this one a go. I'm not sure when I'm going to read it because it's quite chunky, and I'm not in the mood for like chunky books right now, but I have a feeling February time, when I've kind of got over the excitement of the new year and trying to finish as many books as I can in January to get a good start, I think that's when I might slow down and read some chunkier reads. So I do think this is one it's going to be that's soon for me, because I really want to read it. Yeah, what a great interaction. I was very happy. So next up, I have the books that I bought in the Waterstones sale. These aren't all of the ones that I bought in the sale, because unfortunately the Waterstones that I went to had a really poor sale. There were like 40 books maybe in the sale, whereas online there were thousands. So I do have an online order coming with I think 6 more books, maybe 5 or 6, but these are the 4 that I did find in store half price that I will tell you about now. So the first one is a really small one, but one that I am very excited for, and that is Weasels in the Attic by Hiroko Oyamada. This is another Japanese literary fiction, and it is super short. I think this is probably the shortest one that I own. This one is about 2 friends that meet in 3 dinners across the years and have different conversations, and we kind of follow their conversations, and it's meant to be about marriage, femininity, masculinity, and explores those kind of topics, while they're also talking about how to get rid of a weasel infestation. I don't know. It sounds kind of strange, but it's got really good reviews, and it's so tiny. It's one that I can just get through really quickly. And again, it's going to be one for my Asian literary fiction vlog. Next, if you've been on TikTok, you will definitely have seen this one, and that is Lightlark by Alex Astor. So this one is a YA fantasy. It's got very mixed reviews on TikTok, but it's been very big on there. And it's one that I really want to read for myself to see what I think of it. So this one is about the island of Lightlark, which appears, I think it's every 100 years? So every 100 years, the island of Lightlark appears for 100 days, and the realms surrounding it have to compete to remove the curse on their realm, and for the game to be over, one of the rulers of the realms has to die. So each of the realms has a different, very deadly curse and very horrible curse, and they're all competing to try and get rid of their curse. It sounds interesting. I've heard some people say it's amazing, executed really well. I've heard some people say that it's not at all, but seeing as it was half price in Waterstones, I couldn't really argue with that, considering I do want to give it a try and see what I think. Yeah, I'll let you know eventually what I think of it. Next one is Madly Deeply, the Alan Rickman Diaries. This is one that I've really wanted to pick up, and it's just never been quite the top, and then I saw it was on the sale and I was like, yes, absolutely, I have to get this. Alan Rickman, I don't know, I had a very strong reaction when he died in 2016. He's been in a lot of the movies that kind of made my childhood, and I remember I was in physics class, and it was our A-level physics class. There was only like 10 of us in there. We were on our phones occasionally, like it's a pretty chill class, and I looked down at my phone while we were running experiments, and I just got the notification saying that he died, and I told the class, and we were all so sad, and like our teacher couldn't understand why, but we'd all grown up on Alan Rickman films. There's so many out there that we had watched as children, from like the Harry Potter movies to Love Actually. Some people at that age were watching Die Hard. It's one of those where I think it's beautiful that he had always intended to publish his diaries, and they've now decided to go through with that. I was worried when I first heard about it, and I was like, oh, are we printing someone's diaries who didn't want that? But apparently he had always dreamed of doing this. So now his widow and the publishing companies are doing it for him. I think that is lovely, and I am very interested to see what was going on in his life and in his mind when he was doing all of these big name movies, but also when he was first coming into acting. I think it's going to be a really interesting read, and yeah, that's why I bought that one. And the final book that I bought in person with the Waterstones sales is Beyond the Wand by Tom Felton. This is his autobiography, and this one is quite simple. I grew up with Harry Potter, and as much as we don't support it these days because of J.K. Rowling, I'm very interested to read what it was like as one of the child actors growing up in that world, because all of these actors and actresses, their entire identities were tied to Harry Potter for so long. And so many of them have tried to break out of it and found it really hard because people just see them as Draco Malfoy. And I'm really interested to see what his life was like at that time. How were they treated? What was set like? What were the experiences like? How did they feel being tied to this character? And as he says, beyond the wand, sort of what happened beyond that? What happened when he finished Harry Potter? How did he feel? How did his life change? And I think when something that's that pivotal and it's had such a big cultural impact, it's really interesting to see what the people inside of that were feeling and thinking. So much like Alan Rickman, this is an actor who I grew up with, who felt like someone I knew when I was a child. And so I'm very interested to see what was going on for him at the time, especially with so much coming out about J.K. Rowling and all that kind of stuff. Was there anything like going on behind the scenes of Harry Potter that we should know about? So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really like happy that he's speaking and telling his story. I've not heard there's anything dramatic in this book, but I think it's really important that people who were child actors and actresses in the industry talk about their experiences. Because obviously we've had I'm Glad My Mum Died by Jeanette McCurdy, which was kind of groundbreaking, talking about the abuse she experienced, both from her mother and the industry. So it'd be interesting to hear another perspective from another very famous child actor, because obviously he was quite big before Harry Potter. I knew him from The Borrowers and other films, so it's quite interesting to see sort of what his experience was like, especially as a lot of us grew up seeing him grow up on screen. So yeah, I hope it's going to be interesting and a good read. I haven't heard much about it, but we'll see. So that is my stack of books of all the books I've kind of hauled over the Christmas period. I obviously do have some more coming from the Waterstones sale, but these are all the ones I've received so far. And yeah, I don't do hauls very often because I don't buy books in big chunks very often, but I love doing them at Christmas and talking about what I got. So please do let me know, like in the comments, did you get any books this holiday season? Are there any you're really excited about reading? And yeah, that's it, I think. So thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing to see more content from me. All of my social media links are in the description below. And if you'd like to leave me a comment to let me know you are here, leave me a Christmas tree emoji in the comments below. Thank you again. Bye!